So I had a big breakthrough last night, and I think I've finally identified the source of pain and the real problem that has been the theme of these last few weeks. So throughout that whole period of the last couple of weeks, I kept saying that it was nothing to do with the event, but it was all about the event. This whole thing was all about the event. And not really the event per se, but that feeling after that event sold no tickets. And as I look back in the videos for the last couple of weeks, as I reflect on these last couple of weeks, now I've had time to really think about it. That was sore. That was really sore, and I could even see it in the videos when I was doing it. I knew it was sore at the time. It was painful. It was really painful. I felt hurt. And this is not about saying to other people, it's just me just talking about how I felt. And I felt hurt. I felt rejected. And I think I had such a big focus this year on trying to help and thinking this is my purpose. My purpose is to help people. I'm going to be in Scotland. And I've been working all year on all these plans to help people and all these ideas that I had, and try to take all this stuff that I'd learned in the last few years and try to provide it and deliver it. And the first part of that, when we sold no tickets for the event, that was hard. That was tough, because I know there was a million reasons why the event never sold, and mistakes that I made around marketing and positioning and all that sort of stuff. But fundamentally, what it comes down to was that my purpose was challenged, and my purpose was called into question. And I lost that sense of purpose last week, because I kind of thought to myself at the time, nobody wants it. Nobody wants me, pretty much. That's, I suppose, that was what the thought was. And I can see that now. It was nobody wants my help. Nobody wants me. And it wasn't true. I know it's not true. I know there's a lot of people who get value for what I do, but I internalised that as if it was an expression of people thinking, we don't want you, Josh. We don't get any value from this. And to me, I am very extreme, very emotional, take things to heart, care too much what other people think of me. And my response to that was, very honestly, was, you know what, fuck it. I'm done with that. I'm not spending my life trying to help other people if nobody even wants it. And it was an extreme reaction. It was a really extreme reaction. But that's what happened. It was sore, it was painful, it hurt. It did hurt. And as I said, it was all my responsibility, all my fault, because the way it was positioned, all that stuff. But I kind of get away from the fact that it hurt. It did hurt, and I internalised it and seen it as a reflection on me, and that when really I know people would want to actually come to an event. I know people do want my help. I know people do want me to keep doing what I do. But that was my way of dealing with it, and I done what I always do. And my go-to response when things aren't going well, I'm going to hit the road. I'm going to hit the road. I made a video last week where I said that my heart lies in travel. I miss my old life. I miss being on the road. Travel was so simple. It's fucking bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. What I'm really good at is, when I've got something in my mind, I'm good at telling myself a story about why it's a good idea. And I came up with all these ideas why being on the road was a great idea. And that, this is about me forgetting things I've already learned. This year, there's been a few times in January and February where I've had wee bits I've not felt that good, and I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go on the road again, I'm going to go back on the bike. But then I come through it a day later, an hour later, and I'm like, wait a minute, when I'm at my happiest, I have no desire to leave or go and do anything else. So that has been fascinating. And I was actually in the camping shop last week. I was looking at tents. I was going to just get a tent. I was going to pack one bag, and I was just going to walk. Do you know, this was wrong, right? But last week I seriously, and I mean seriously considered just giving up the whole thing and deleting social media, deleting the website, just walking away for the whole thing, and stopping posting, just completely giving it a whole thing up. walking away from sponsorship, walking away from partners, giving up everything, packing one bag, and just walking and seeing where I got to, just being on the road and doing what I had to do to just be on the road. I genuinely thought about that. And then kind of came over that, and then I had the idea for Asia, and I thought I want to go and, because I wanted to do that for a while, I thought I want to go and study meditation, yoga, blah, 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 all that stuff. And that was the idea that I had, and I'm still doing that, 100%. And I'm not going to speak about that in this video, I want to speak about that tomorrow, because it's a whole different subject. The point being is that I'm still going to Asia, I'm still going to do all the things I said I was going to do. But what I've realised is that going away on the road is me running away from something. It's running away from pain. And when I'm in that painful moment, it's always the go-to response is go on the road. Like, what I have learned is that life of like me being on the road, living in a tent, slumming it, fibre a day, that's not actually what I want. That is always the response to pain. A happy person, I don't believe, for me, a happy Josh, a happy me, does not want to sleep in a tent, does not want to be living in a fibre a day, does not want to be roughing it. That's always my response to pain. And that has been fascinating. That has been so fascinating. But what I have realised is that, so my purpose was called into question. I had this purpose that I found in the Camino. My purpose is truly to help people. Like, that's why all this stuff happened these last few years, because I wouldn't be able to do what I do without that happening. And it mars up, I don't think that's a word. It ties up with all the things that I think I'm good at. Like, I can communicate, I'm driven, I'm ambitious, I have no fear about putting myself out there. You use some of that stuff added with my story, the things I've learned, that's a really good recipe for impact and helping people. And it just feels like everything's happened to get me to that point. So my purpose was called into question. That's why I was struggling so much. But what I have realised is that still is my purpose, big time. My purpose, I've got clarity in that again, is that my purpose is 100% well and truly to be helping people and to be continuing to share my story and to be becoming a teacher one day. And once I've overcome all my stuff, to be really teaching and serving other people. Fundamentally, I believe that in my heart of hearts. But what I've learned is that I've still got a lot of work to do. I'm not at that place yet. I'm not at the place to do the things I was doing this year. The events, the speaking, the coaching that I was working on, the foundation. It's too soon. I've still got a lot of work to do in myself, but I've got an amazing awareness of it. One thing that I'm so grateful for is that I know what issues I have. I believe I have a plan to overcome them, and I know how I'm going to do it. And I've known for a while. I don't have a lack of awareness on what my problems are and what challenges I face mentally and emotionally. I've got good clarity in that, and I think I've got a solid plan to do it. I think I've got a really solid plan to do it, and to me that does go to another level with this thing out in Asia that I want to do, which I'll speak about tomorrow. But for now, I just wanted to say that I've identified that source of pain. I've understood that being on the road is just me running away, and I do know my purpose. The reason why I'm going to continue to share and continue to share these videos when I'm not feeling so good and I'm talking about this stuff and I'm really making myself vulnerable is because I believe long term that there comes a day where I've done it and I'm happy and content and I've overcome those issues and I can just truly serve other people through my story and what I've learned. 100% believe in that, and that's why it's so important to keep going right now. It's so important to keep going because I can't let the minority dictate what I do, and I'm going to keep going, 100% keep going. And this thing in Asia that I'm going to go and do, that I am doing on the 9th of April, I'm very clear in that that's not running away because it's very specific, it's very intention led. I'm not going to go and be in the road and in a new place every day. It's very, very specific, and I'm really looking forward to that chapter because I've still got a lot of work to do, and to me that's where I go and do the work. And I 100% believe in my heart of hearts that there will come a time where I am back here and I'm teaching and I'm serving, and it'll be a great story for other people of my journey because you'll be able to see it from beginning to end. So it's nice to get that off the chest. Cheers.